Today we are reviewing circumference and area of circles. So just as a reminder, circumference is the distance around the outside of a circle. Our formula is pi times diameter. Diameter is the distance all the way through the circle from one edge through the center to the other. So for example, if I had a diameter of 4, to find the circumference, I would do pi times 4, and then if I rounded that to 1 decimal place, that's what this means, dp. 1 decimal place, that would be 12 and 6/10 centimeters. And then area is measured in square units. You think about the inside being filled with squares. Formula for area of circle is pi times the radius squared. The radius is the distance from the center point out to one edge of the circle. So for example, if we have a radius of 3, we would do pi times 3 squared. That means pi times 3 times 3. And since 3 times 3 is 9, we do pi times 9. And if we round to the nearest tenth, then that would be about 28.3 square centimeters. Circumference is just regular units, such as centimeters. Area is in square units, such as centimeters squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice some of these problems. Calculate the circumference and area of our circle. So I'm going to go ahead and just write up our formulas here so we have them as a visual. Circumference equals pi times diameter. Area equals pi times radius squared. For our problems today, we are going to be using 3.14 for pi, and unless the directions say to round, we will not be rounding. All right, so we're going to calculate the circumference first. So for the circumference, we're going to do 3.14 times our diameter, which is 6. So 3.14 times 6 gives us 18.84. And that is going to be centimeters. So circumference is 18 and 8400 centimeters. Area. In order to get the area, we first have to find the radius since they gave us the diameter. So 6 divided by 2 gives us 3 as our radius. That's the number that's going into our formula. So we're going to do 3.14 times 3 squared. So I'm just going to write it out twice. Times 3 times 3. So when I do 3.14 times 3, I get 28 and 26 hundredths, and that's going to be centimeters squared. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. Let's check our answers. So we'll do circumference first, pi times diameter. So circumference equals 3.14 times our diameter, which is 9. And when we do that, we get 28.26. That's going to be centimeters. Okay, area equals pi times radius squared. So we're doing 3.14. Ooh, I need to find my radius. Going over here to do that. 9 divided by 2 gives me a radius of 4.5. All right, so 3.14 times 4.5 times another 4.5. And let's see what that is. 3.14 times 4.5 times 4.5 gives me 63 and 585 thousandths centimeters squared. Okay, let's look at our next one. Calculate the circumference and area of this circle. So go ahead and pause and try this one on your own. Notice how on this one they give you the radius instead of the diameter. Okay, let's check our answers. So circumference equals pi times diameter. And then I'm also going to just put over here circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. In order to get from the radius to the diameter, you have to multiply times 2. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 4 times 2. We have to do 4 times 2 to get the diameter, and then times 3.14. All right, so when I do that multiplication, I get 25 and 12/100 centimeters as my circumference. Area equals pi times radius squared. So that's 3.14 times 4 times 4. And that's going to be 50 and 24/100 centimeters squared. Okay, go ahead and pause that video again. Try this next one. All right, let's try it together. Double check your answers. Circumference equals pi times diameter, which is the same thing as pi times radius times 2. Usually you see that 2 in the front. Okay, so circumference equals 3.14 times diameter. Our radius is 5. We have to multiply by 2 to get it to be the diameter. That's going to give me a total of 31 and 4/10 centimeters. Area equals pi times radius squared. We know the radius is 5. So we're going to do 3.14 times 5 times 5. And let's see, when we multiply that out, we get 78.5 centimeters squared. All right, let's take a look at this one. Now I have a semicircle. So our formulas are a little bit different. Calculate the perimeter and area of the semicircle. So for circumference, remember it's pi times diameter. But when we have a semicircle, we have to divide it by 2. That tells us the curve, but we also have to add on the diameter for the part at the bottom. When we do our area, it's still pi times radius squared, like a full circle, but then we have to divide by 2 for to make it a half circle. So we'll start with a perimeter. I wrote circumference. I really should have put perimeter here. Circumference is really only used when it's a full circle. If it has any straight sides, it's perimeter. All right, so let's see. On this one, our diameter is 10. So we're going to do 3.14 times 10 divided by 2 plus 10. So the circumference divided by 2 plus the diameter on the bottom. All right, so 3.14 times 10 divided by 2. That part gives me 15 and 7/10. Plus 10 is going to be 25 and 7/10, and that's going to be centimeters. Oops, not squared. Get my eraser out. Perimeter is just like circumference. It's going to be plain units. 25 and 7/10 regular centimeters. All right, area. So we're going to do 3.14. We do need the radius, so let's go over here and figure that out. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 is our radius. So 3.14 times 5 times 5, and then we are dividing by 2. Okay, so when we multiply that out, let me try again. 3.14 times 5. Oh, messing things up in my calculator here. Let's try it again. 3.14 times 5 times 5, and then divided by 2 gives me 39 and 25/100 centimeters squared. Area is in squared units. Perimeter or circumference is just regular units. Let's take a look at a circumference and area task. Our essential question here is, how are circumference, area, and rates related? And we have our formulas here that we've looked at already. Circumference is pi times diameter. 2 times pi times radius is also circumference. Area is pi times radius squared. All right, so let's see. It says Tillman's Pizzeria is having a sale on medium and large pizzas. Medium pizzas are 10 inches in diameter and cost $7.99. Large pizzas are 14 inches in diameter and cost $14.99. Which size pizza is the better deal? And then hint, it says find the cost per square inch of pizza. So I am going to scroll down a little bit. All right, so 10-inch diameter means that my radius is going to be 5 inches. It's my radius for my medium. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 5 times 5. That's going to give me 78.5, which we just figured out on the last page. Okay, so 78.5 square inches. That's the area. So to find a rate, to figure out what the better deal is, we have to divide the cost by the area. So $7.99 for the whole thing, divided by the amount of pizza we have, 78.5 square inches. It's going to give me a unit price per square inch. So let's see. I'm going to do $7.99 divided by 78.5. And then I'm going to round to the nearest cent. Money always has 2 decimal places. So it's going to be 0.1. So let's see, I have 0.17. When I round to the nearest decimal place, that 0, and I look at the one behind it, that's going to give me approximately 10 cents a square inch. Okay, that's our unit price for the medium pizza. Let's see, I'll switch colors for my large pizza just to try to keep things organized. Okay, large pizza is 14 inches in diameter. So to figure out my radius, I have to divide that by 2. That gives me 7 inches as my radius. So to find the area, I'm going to do 3.14 times 7 times 7. Okay, so let's see. 3.14 times 7 gives me 153 and 86 inches square. That's the area of the pizza. Now I'm going to find the unit price. So I'm going to do $14.99 divided by my area, 153 and 86 inches squared. And let's go ahead and figure out what that is. So $14.99 divided by my area, 153.86. When I get that decimal, I'm 0.0974. And more decimals, but that 7 rounds that 9 up to a 10. So that is also, ooh, I forgot my 0. There is a big difference between $10 and 10 cents. Don't want to make that mistake. Okay, so best deal, they are about the same. Large is ever so slightly less when we looked at it before we rounded, but it's pretty darn close. So I'm going to write about the same. Large is slightly, ever so slightly better. All right, so here is a small, a medium, and a large pizza at Tillman's Pizzeria. And you are going to go ahead and figure out the area, circumference, and the price per square inch for each of these sizes. So go ahead and pause the video and try all of these problems. Pay attention that some of them give you information as a diameter and some of them give you information as a radius. Go ahead and pause the video and complete the rest of this problem. All right, let's check our answers. So for our small pizza, I'm going to kind of do my work off to the side. Let's see, I'm going to do my small work over here. Okay, my diameter is 6. I need to divide by 2 to get my radius. So 6 divided by 2 tells me my radius is going to be 3. Okay, so for area, I'm going to do 3.14 times 3 times 3. And let's see, our area is 28.26. That's going to be inches squared. So that's my area work. My circumference work, I do pi times diameter, so 3.14 times 6. That gives me 18 and 84/100ths. 18.84. That's going to be regular inches. And then price per square inch, we take $6.99. We divide by our area. Let's see, 6.99 divided by 28.26. I get 0.24734. We look at that hundredths place. We look at the number behind it. 7 tells us we round it up. So this is going to be approximately 25 cents per square inch. All right, I'm going to skip to the large and do my work over here, and then I'll scroll down and do my medium work below. Okay, so skipping over to large. Also gives me a diameter. This time it's 14 inches. So I need to do 14 divided by 2 to get my radius, which is going to be 7. All right, so for the area, I do 3.14 times 7 squared. Let's see what that equals. 153.86. Okay. That is square inches. Let's do the circumference. Circumference is pi times diameter. So 3.14 times 14. 3.14 times 14 equals 43.96 inches. And then price per square inch, we've got $15.99 divided by the area, 153 and 86/100ths. And for that one, we get 0.1039. Let's round. We look at the hundredths place, the number behind it. That's going to round to approximately 10 cents per square inch. That 3 means we keep the 0 the same. So price per square inch, about 10 cents per square inch. So there's definitely a better buy with the large pizza here. Let's see how the medium pizza compares to these two. So I'm going to extend my page a little bit so I have some space. All right, so here's my work for medium. I'm going to switch my color too. Just trying to keep things organized. Okay, so for the medium area, this time they have the radius given to us. So we're doing 3.14 times 5 times 5. That's 78.5. So area, 78.5 inches squared. For circumference, we're going to do 2 times 3.14 times radius. We're doing times 2 because we have a radius instead of a diameter. That's going to be 31.4 inches. 31.4 inches. Price per square inch, $9.99 divided by 78.5 inches squared. Well, let's see what that equals. 9.99 divided by 78.5. We get 0.12726. Let's round to the nearest cent. 2 is in the hundredths place. The number behind it is a 7, which means it rounds up to 13 cents. So we get 13 cents per square inch. So on the last one, there really wasn't much of a difference between the two. Here, it's very clearly the best deal for large when we're talking about a unit price compared to the medium and the small. Okay, so let's finish this up. It says the sizes and prices at Tillman's Pizzeria are listed above. Find the area of each pizza. Which size would you buy if you wanted the best price per square inch and why? And then is it more helpful to find the circumference of the pizza or the area of the pizza when you are comparing prices? Does one formula give you a different result than the other, and how could you prove it? Go ahead and pause the video and answer those two questions. All right, so for the first one, we kind of talked about it already before we went to the size. So we discovered, looking at the 3 unit prices, 25 cents per square inch, 13 cents per square inch, and 10 cents per square inch, that the large has the cheapest unit price. So large, because it has the lowest costs per square inch. All right, and then this one, is it more helpful to find the circumference of the pizza or the area of pizza when comparing prices? We want to use the area because that's what we're eating. We're not just eating the crust, the edge, we're eating the whole thing. So more helpful for the area. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, more helpful to find area. That is what you are eating. Does one formula give you a different result than the other? Yes, the results are different. And you can see that through the different calculations above.